We often talk about money and politics on this show, and in fact, there was a nice little vote today in the Senate. They voted 79 to 18 to allow a discussion on whether we should get a constitutional money to get money out of politics. Okay, why are they not merciful? Now, once they have that debate and discussion, it is likely to go down to another Republican filibuster and lose anyway, let alone the fact that the House, which is controlled by Republicans, would never pass it, right? Now, we've been talking about money in politics in terms of campaign contributions, etc. But it's gotten to the point where the people in Congress need so much money to run that most of them, literally over 50% of them, are millionaires, okay? Now, today I want to talk to you about the top 10, the guys who are really representing. The reason you're seeing Darrell Issa next to me here is because he's number one. First, let's give you a sense of how much those top 10 congressmen have overall. Their accumulated wealth is $1.052 billion. That's not all of Congress. That's just 10 guys in Congress. That's less than 2% of Congress, okay? Darrell Issa is number one at $357.25 million in assets, okay? Now, Issa runs a company that is related to making sure your cars are safe. There's an alarm that goes off if you try to steal a car. Now, Issa would know something about that because earlier in his life, he used to steal cars. Literally, look it up. That's what he got busted for. And he's like, wait, I got a better racket. Let me go and protect people from people like me. And then he thought, wait, I've got an even better racket. Why don't I go into Congress and then direct the money directly to me? In fact, there's another story that we covered on the show before about how he literally had the government direct roads near his businesses. Okay, so there's no better racket than the United States Congress. Now, they explain that, yes, some of the top millionaires in Congress are entrepreneurs. There's Darrell Issa, there's Jared Polis, who's a Democrat. But not all are entrepreneurs. Tina Nguyen at Mediate writes, some of their money, however, isn't self-earned. The $117 million fortune of the second richest man, Representative Michael McCaul, belongs entirely to his wife, the heiress to Clear Channel. Look at these lords who rule over us. Senator J. Rockefeller inherited most, if not all, of his wealth from his extremely rich, famous family. Skip that word. And Representative Scott Peters' net worth of $45 million mostly comes from his wife, who operates a successful hedge fund. You know, when I was in New York, a homeless guy near the school that I went to used to have this thing he said all the time. You don't have to be a Rockefeller to help a fella, right? But apparently you do have to be a Rockefeller to be in the United States Congress. So they're not all named specifically Rockefeller, but one's wife runs the hedge fund, the other one's an heiress. The wife is an heiress to the Clear Channel fortune. The lords from Clear Channel now enter your Congress. Really, what's their sigil? So they explained, again, Tina Nguyen does, that even the poor among Congress have access to millions of dollars you don't have access to. How? Listen. In also sad news, the poorest member of Congress, Representative David Valadao, is worth negative millions of dollars, implying that even he has more money to spend than you ever will. Isn't that funny? That's literally rich. Okay, if you went to the bank and said, oh, could you just let me borrow a couple $1 million that I'm going to lose? Okay, my guess is they would ask you a couple of questions about that, right? But these guys have so much money that the poorest guy has already lost millions of dollars that somebody gave him at some point. Don't worry, that money's going to come back to him. There's the revolving door and all the different wonderful corruption that we have set up in our system. So these guys who are literally multi-millionaires now rule over us. There is no House of Commons, only a House of Lords. And if you don't have millions of dollars, your chance of getting elected to that club is nearly nil. Does this sound like a democracy to you? wolf-pack.com. Don't stand for this nonsense. Let's go get them. Let's bring back our democracy.